Welcome back to another episode of Valuable Coins, where we dive deep into the world of numismatics, uncovering the most valuable and unique coins in the market today. If you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or simply interested in the incredible value of rare coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we will explore two of the most fascinating and expensive United States coins currently circulating the auction market. First, up the Washington $quarter 1974 with D Mint mark from the Denver Mint is often mistaken for being made of silver, but it is not. The United States Mint stopped striking silver quarters for circulation after 1964. From 1965 onward, all quarters issued for everyday use were produced with the clad composition. This means they were made of a pure copper core, sandwiched between two layers of copper nickel. The only Washington quarters after 1964 that contained silver were special collector coins, such as proofs and silver sets from the San Francisco Mint. Since your coin carries the D Mint mark, meaning it was struck in Denver, it is a standard copper nickel-clad quarter, not silver. On the obverse of the coin, you see the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. The word Liberty is inscribed across the top. "In God We Trust" appears to the left, and the date 1974 sits below Washington's portrait. To the right of the ponytail ribbon is the mint mark D for Denver. The reverse continues to feature the heraldic eagle with spread wings, standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. Surrounding this design are the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. This design was in use continuously from 1932 all the way until 1998. So the 1974 D quarter fits neatly into that long-running series. You describe your coin as being in dirty condition with some scratches. In coin collecting terms, condition plays the biggest role in determining value. A coin that is dirty and scratched is considered circulated, and heavy marks or grime reduce its appeal even further. Most coins in this state are categorized around good to fine condition, depending on how much detail remains visible. On such a coin, Washington's hair is worn down and flat in areas, and the eagle's feather detail on the reverse is significantly flattened. While still fully identifiable as a 1974 D quarter, it lacks the sharpness and eye appeal that collectors generally seek. The mintage of the 1974 D quarter was very high. Over 353 million pieces were struck. Because of this, they remain extremely common. Circulated examples with wear, scratches, or dirt do not carry any premium in today's market. The realistic value of a 1974 D quarter in this type of condition is 25 cents. Its face value. Dealers will not generally pay more, as they already encountered these coins in bulk. Where value does increase is in higher grade or error coins. A 1974 D quarter in uncirculated condition, with full mint luster and no circulation wear, can sell for $1 to $5 depending on how clean it is. Certified examples graded MS65 sometimes sell in the $15 to $30 range. And coins graded MS67 or higher are rare enough that they can sell for several $100s at auction. But these are pristine, well-preserved coins, not the circulated, dirty, or scratched examples most people find in change. Errors also add collector interest. There are known 1974 quarters with striking errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, or doubled dies. Depending on how dramatic the error is, such pieces can sell for $20, $50, or even more. But standard 1974 D circulation strikes, without major errors, especially in worn condition, are not valuable beyond face value. The 1911 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the earlier issues in the series. Struck just 2 years after the design was first introduced in 1909, made at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin does not carry a mint mark beneath the date. The obverse features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. while the reverse shows the two iconic wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America, being over a century old. The 1911 penny is a true piece of early American numismatic history. Philadelphia struck more than 101 million pennies in 1911, which was a large production for its time. That means the no mint mark version is the most common of the 1911 issues, as the 1911D and especially the 1911S are much scarcer and more valuable. Even so, with the age of this coin now well over 110 years, it has become a sought-after collectible, especially in higher grades. The coin being described is in fine condition. In grading terms, fine means moderate wear, but with most of the main details still visible. On Lincoln's portrait, you can still see the outline of his cheek and jaw, and parts of the hair and coat are distinguishable, though worn. The lettering is sharp, the rims are mostly intact, and on the reverse, the wheat stalks retain some of their inner lines even though they are clearly worn down from circulation. Fine condition places this coin well above heavily worn good examples. But below the sharper, very fine, and extremely fine grades, there are also some scratches noted on the coin. Surface scratches are fairly common on coins this old, especially ones that circulated widely in the early 20th century. While scratches don't remove the coin from being collectible, they do reduce its overall appeal to buyers and typically push its value to the lower end of the price range. Collectors usually prefer even wear without extra marks. But given the coin's age, most will overlook minor blemishes. So, how much is a 1911 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark worth in today's market? As of September 2025, values break down roughly as follows. A heavily worn, good condition piece might sell for about $1 to $2 in fine condition, which is where this coin falls. The realistic market range is $3 to $6, with scratches likely holding it closer to the lower end. Very fine examples may bring $70 to $120, and extremely fine coins often sell for $15 to $25 in about uncirculated grades. Prices can climb into the $30 to $50 range. Truly uncirculated mint state pieces, especially those certified and showing original red color, can be worth $75 to several $100 depending on the grade and eye appeal. It's also worth noting that while the Philadelphia issue is the most common for 1911, collectors working on full-day tanned mint mark sets need it alongside the scarcer Denver and San Francisco issues. That steady demand keeps even circulated Philadelphia examples, like this one, worth more than just face value. Next up, the Washington $quarter 1977 without a mint mark is often mistaken for being a silver coin. But in fact, it is not silver. By that time, the U.S. Mint had long since stopped striking silver quarters for circulation. The last year of regular 90% silver quarters was 1964. From 1965 onward, all circulating quarters were made from a clad composition, a pure copper core with an outer layer of copper nickel. The only Washington quarters with silver content after 1964 were special collector issues, mainly proofs and silver sets, which were struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark. Since your 1977 quarter does not have a mint mark, it was struck in Philadelphia, and it is the standard copper-nickel clad version. The obverse of the coin shows the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Across the top is the word Liberty, while to the left of Washington's bust is the motto "In God We Trust." The date 1977 is inscribed at the bottom. Because the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, there is no mint mark visible. On the reverse, you see the heraldic eagle with spread wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions: United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. This reverse design was in use from 1932 through 1998. before the launch of the 50-state quarters. Program. You describe your coin as being in dirty condition with some scratches. In coin grading terms, this places the coin in circulated condition, probably around good to fine. In such grades, the details of Washington's hair on the obverse are worn smooth, and the eagle's feather detail on the reverse is significantly flattened. The presence of scratches and dirt further reduces eye appeal, which collectors take into account when assigning value. Circulated coins in this condition are very common, as hundreds of millions were struck and most remained in everyday use. For decades, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 468 million quarters in 1977, making the coin extremely common. Because of this high mintage, examples in dirty or scratched circulated condition hold no extra collector premium. In today's market, a 1977 quarter, without a mint mark in dirty condition, is worth 25 cents, its face value, even if you tried. To sell it at auction or online, most collectors would not pay above its denomination, lest it had some special error or unusual quality. Where value does increase is in higher-grade coins. An about uncirculated 1977 quarter may bring 50 cents to $1, while an uncirculated piece with full luster could sell for $2 to $5. Certified examples in MS-65 can sell for $20 to $40. And superb gems graded MS-67 may sell for hundreds of dollars, as they are very difficult to find in flawless condition. Coins from 1977 that were preserved in mint sets or rolls are the best candidates for those. Higher grade values. Errors are another area where value can rise significantly. Some 1977 quarters are known with minting mistakes, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, or doubled dies. Depending on how dramatic and visible the error is, these coins can sell for $20, $50, or even more. A 1977 quarter struck on a wrong planchette, such as a dime blank, could be worth hundreds. But normal circulated strikes in dirty condition do not carry those premiums. So, for your specific coin, a 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in dirty circulated condition with scratches, the fair market value is about 25 cents. It is not silver. It was struck in huge numbers, and its condition keeps it from being collectible. It remains a genuine piece of American coinage history, part of the long-running Washington Quarter series. But its worth in today's market is equal to its face value. Next up, the 1958D Lincoln Wheat Penny marks the very last year of the wheat cent design, which had been in use since 1909, after 1958. The reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial starting in 1959. So coins from this year have special significance as the closing chapter of nearly 50 years of wheat penny production. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and you can see the D Mint mark just below the date. The Denver Mint produced an enormous number of pennies in 1958, over 800 million pieces, which makes the 1958D one of the most common wheat cents ever made. Because of that, even though it's historically important as the final issue of the series, it is widely available today in circulated grades. The coin here is described as being in fine condition with a red color shade. In coin grading, fine means moderate wear, with most of Lincoln's portrait still visible. The cheek and jawline are worn, but the details remain clear. The lettering is sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse still show some inner lines. It's clearly circulated, but not heavily worn down. The mention of a red color shade is interesting. Normally, when coins are graded, copper cents are classified by their color: red road, red brown RB, or brown BN. Red coins are those that have retained most of their original mint luster, while brown coins have darkened with age. However, in fine condition, it's unusual for a coin to still have much original red, since circulation typically darkens the color. In this case, the red shade may just be toning or partial luster left on the coin. Scratches are also noted. Surface scratches are common on coins that have been in circulation, but they do lower the eye appeal, and, for a coin as common as the 1958D, that pushes the value to the lower end of the range. So, what is the 1958D Lincoln Wheat penny worth today? In low circulated grades, these coins usually sell for just 2 to 5 cents, not much above face value. In fine condition, they might bring around 5 to 10 cents. Extremely fine examples can reach 15 to 25 cents, and about uncirculated pieces sometimes sell for 50 cents to $1. Where the big jumps happen is in fully uncirculated mint state coins with strong red color, which can be worth $3 to $10 at the lower end, and in certified high-grade red examples. Prices can soar to $50, $100, or even several $100s depending on the grade. For this specific coin, the 1958D in fine condition, with scratches but showing some red shade, the realistic market value is around 5 cents to 10 cents today. It's not a rare or high-dollar coin, but it is an important piece of the Lincoln series. Being the last year of the wheat penny, many collectors like to include a 1958D in their sets to mark the end of an era before the design switched to the Lincoln Memorial. To wrap it up, the 1958D Lincoln Wheat penny with a large date. In fine condition, showing a red shade but also with scratches, has a modest value of under a dime in today's market. Its true significance lies not in its rarity or price, but in its place as the final issue of the beloved wheat penny design, which had become a staple of American pocket change for nearly half a century. Next up, the Washington $quarter 1996 with P Mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint is sometimes called a silver coin. But in reality, it is not silver. By 1996, all regular circulation quarters were made from copper-nickel clad, a pure copper core sandwiched between layers of copper-nickel. The U.S. Mint had stopped producing 90% silver quarters for circulation after 1964. The only Washington quarters that contained silver after that point were special collector coins, such as proofs, and silver sets struck mainly at the San Francisco Mint with an S Mint mark. Because your coin has a P Mint mark, it was struck for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, and it is definitely a clad quarter rather than a silver one. On the obverse, the coin features John Flanagan's portrait of George Washington, a design used since the quarter's introduction in 1932. Across the top is the word Liberty, while the motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left. The date 1996 is inscribed below the portrait, and the mint mark P is placed to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. The reverse still carries the traditional heraldic eagle design, with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. The inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and $quarter surround the design. This reverse would be replaced just a few years later in 1999 with the first designs of the State Quarters program. You describe the coin as being in very fine VF condition with some scratches. On the grading scale, very fine means the coin has moderate circulation, wear but still retains clear design detail. On your coin, Washington's hairlines would be worn but still visible, and the eagle's wings and body feathers would show flattening, yet remain well-defined. Scratches reduce the eye appeal, but VF condition is still considered better than heavily worn good or fine coins. When it comes to value, the 1996 P quarter had an enormous mintage of over 925 million pieces. This makes it extremely common, and most circulated examples hold no premium beyond face value. In today's market, a 1996 P Washington quarter in very fine condition with scratches is realistically worth 25 cents, its face value. Collectors do not generally pay extra for circulated coins from this date unless they are in much higher grade or show an unusual error. Uncirculated examples are where value begins to rise. A 1996 P quarter in mint state condition, showing no circulation, wear, and full mint luster. Might sell for $1 to $3. Certified coins graded Ms. 65 can bring $15 to $25. And superb gems graded MS 67 or higher can sometimes sell for $100 or more at major auctions, as they are difficult to find in pristine condition without marks. Many collectors seek these top-grade examples for registry sets. Error coins are another exception. Some 1996 P quarters with striking mistakes, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, or double dies, can be worth $25, $50, or even more, depending on rarity and visibility. A 1996 quarter struck on the wrong planchette, such as a dime blank, would be worth significantly more. But for a normal circulation strike in VF condition with scratches, no such premium applies. So for your Coinen 1996 P. Washington quarter in very fine condition with some scratches, the realistic value in today's market is about $500, despite sometimes being thought of as silver. It is actually clad, produced in huge numbers, and too worn to carry collector demand. Still, it remains part of the final years of the classic eagle reverse design before the state quarters transformed. U.S. coinage just a few years later. Next up, 50 years of wheat penny production. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and you can see the D Mint mark just below the date. The Denver Mint produced an enormous number of pennies in 1958, over 800 million pieces, which makes the 1958D one of the most common wheat cents ever made. Because of that, even though it's historically important as the final issue of the series, it is widely available today in circulated grades. The coin here is described as being in fine condition with a red color shade. In coin grading, fine means moderate wear, with most of Lincoln's portraits still visible. The cheek and jawline are worn, but the details remain clear. The lettering is sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse still show some inner lines. It's clearly circulated, but not heavily worn down. The mention of a red color shade is interesting. Normally, when coins are graded, copper cents are classified by their color: red road, red brown RB, or brown BN. Red coins are those that have retained most of their original mint luster, while brown coins have darkened with age. However, in fine condition, it's unusual for a coin to still have much original red, since circulation typically darkens the color. In this case, the red shade may just be toning or partial luster left on the coin. Scratches are also noted. Surface scratches are common on coins that have been in circulation, but they do lower the eye appeal, and, for a coin as common as the 1958D, that pushes the value to the lower end of the range. So, what is the 1958D Lincoln Wheat penny worth today? In low circulated grades, these coins usually sell for just 2 to 5 cents, not much above face value. In fine condition, they might bring around 5 to 10 cents. Extremely fine examples can reach 15 to 25 cents. And about uncirculated pieces sometimes sell for 50 cents to $1. Where the big jumps happen is in fully uncirculated mint state coins with strong red color, which can be worth $3 to $10 at the lower end, and in certified high-grade red examples, prices can soar to $50, $100, or even several $100s depending on the grade. For this specific coin, the 1958D in fine condition, with scratches but showing some red shade, the realistic market value is around 5 cents to 10 cents today. It's not a rare or high-dollar coin, but it is an important piece of the Lincoln series, being the last year of the wheat penny. Many collectors like to include a 1958D in their sets to mark the end of an era before the design switched to the Lincoln Memorial. To wrap it up, the 1958D Lincoln wheat penny with a large date, in fine condition, showing a red shade but also with scratches, has a modest value of under a dime in today's market. Its true significance lies not in its rarity or price, but in its place as the final issue of the beloved wheat penny design, which had become a staple of American pocket change for nearly half a century. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar 1984 with a D Mint mark from the Denver Mint is sometimes described as silver, but in truth, it is not. By this time, the United States Mint had not been producing silver quarters for circulation for nearly 20 years. The last year of 90% silver quarters struck for everyday use was 1964. Beginning in 1965, all quarters were made in a clad composition. This means they were struck with a pure copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of copper nickel. Only special proof or silver bullion issues, primarily struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S, Mint mark, contained silver after 1964. Since your coin carries the D Mint mark for Denver, it is a regular circulation strike and not a silver issue. The obverse of the coin features the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. At the top of the design is the word Liberty. To the left of Washington's profile is the motto, "In God We Trust." The date 1984 is located at the bottom, while the D Mint mark, indicating the Denver Mint, appears just to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. On the reverse, the coin continues with the heraldic eagle motif that had been standard since 1932. The eagle is shown with wings spread, standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. Around the design are the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. This design remained in place until 1999, when the state quarters program began. You describe your coin as being in extra fine XF condition with some scratches. In coin grading terms, extra fine means that the coin has seen moderate circulation, but most of the finer details are still clear and visible. On your coin, Washington's hair strands would still be distinct, though some flattening would be visible on the highest points. On the reverse, the eagle's wings, feathers, and arrows would remain well-defined, though with light wear. The scratches, however, do lower the overall appeal and may push the coin down in marketability, even if it technically grades extra fine. In terms of market value, the 1984D quarter had a mintage of over 546 million coins, which means it is very common. Circulated examples, even in extra fine, do not generally sell for more than face value because of the enormous supply still in existence. In today's market, a 1984D Washington quarter in extra fine condition with scratches is worth 25 cents. Its face value. If sold individually online, it might bring 50 cents to $1 from a buyer, filling a date and mint mark slot in a collection. But realistically, its standard worth is only its denomination. Where the value starts to climb is in higher grades. An about uncirculated example with only slight wear might bring $1 to $2. An uncirculated 1984D with full mint luster can sell for $3 to $5, while certified mint state coins graded Ms. 65 may sell for $20 to $30. At the highest levels, such as MS 67, prices can exceed $200 at auction because so few exist in flawless condition. These high-grade examples are where collectors and registries set. Participants are willing to pay a significant premium. Error coins are another exception that can raise value. Some 1984 quarters exist with minting errors such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, or double dies. Dramatic errors can sell for $20, $50, or even more, depending on rarity and condition. A 1984D quarter struck on the wrong planchette, for example. On a dime, blank would be particularly valuable. But normal circulation strikes without such errors, even in XF condition, remain extremely common and low in value. So, for your specific Coina 1984D Washington quarter in extra fine condition with scratches, the realistic value in today's market is about 25 cents. Despite sometimes being mistaken for silver, It is actually copper-nickel clad. Its very large mintage and its circulated condition keep its collector value at face value. Still, it remains a genuine piece of 1980s American coinage history. Part of the long-running Washington quarter series that bridged the traditional ego reverse with the coming era of state quarters in the late 1990s. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most well-known coins of the series. Not only because of its age, but also because of its history. After the experimental steel cents of 1943, the mint returned to using the traditional 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition in 1944. That makes 1944 pennies stand out in American coinage history, as they marked the return to copper during the final years of World War II. The Philadelphia Tiche mint produced the largest share that year, and those coins do not carry a mint mark below the date. The total mintage from Philadelphia alone in 1944 was an astonishing 1.4 billion coins, one of the highest of the entire wheat cent series. Because of that, 1944 no mint mark pennies are very common, even today, and collectors can easily find them in all grades. Still, they hold appeal for their wartime connection, and examples in higher grades or with special varieties can be worth much more than average circulation pieces. The coin we're talking about here is Scree, described as being in very fine condition. On the grading scale, very fine is a mid-level circulated grade. That means there is moderate wear, but a lot of the finer details remain visible. On Lincoln's portrait, you can still make out some of the hair detail and most of the features on his cheek and jaw. The lettering is sharp and bold, and the rims are full. On the reverse, the wheat stalks still show strong definition with many of the lines inside the stalks visible. It's clearly a circulated coin, but one that still has plenty of character and detail. There are also some scratches on this piece, which is common for coins that have been through decades of circulation. While scratches don't make the coin uncollectible, they do impact the value, especially for common dates like the 1944 Philadelphia cent, where buyers can easily find cleaner examples. So what is the value of a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition with scratches? As of September 2025, circulated examples in lower grades typically sell for 5 to 10 cents. In fine to very fine condition, the market value is usually 10 to 25 cents. Extremely fine coins may bring around 30 to 50 cents, and about uncirculated pieces can sell for $1 to $2. When you get into uncirculated condition, values rise more sharply, often in the $3 to $10 range. And certified mint state coins in bright red can sometimes bring $50 to $100 or more at auction. For this particular coin, it's in very fine condition, but with scratches, the realistic value today sits closer to 10 to 20 cents since the marks reduce its eye appeal. It's not a rare or high-dollar piece in this grade, but it still has collectible value above face and is an important part of the wheat cent story. Collectors should also note that 1944 has some famous error varieties. A small number of 1944 cents were struck on leftover steel planchettes from 1943, and those extremely rare errors are worth tens of thousands of dollars. There are also known double-die varieties and other minor errors that can command premiums. While this particular example doesn't sound like one of those rarities, it's always worth checking carefully if you have a 1944 penny that looks unusual. Next up, the Washington $quarter 1967 without a mint mark is often thought of as a silver coin, but it is actually not made of silver. The U.S. Mint ended the use of silver in quarters after 1964. From 1965 onward, all Washington quarters made for circulation were struck in the clad composition, which means a pure copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of copper nickel. The only Washington quarters struck in silver after that point were special collector issues. And those came much later in the 1990s as part of proof and silver bullion sets. Since your coin has no mint mark, that is historically correct. 4. The time, because from 1965 to 1967, the mint deliberately left mint marks off all U.S. coins in order to discourage hoarding and speculation during the transition away from silver coinage. On the obverse, the coin carries the classic portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, a design that had been in use since 1932. Across the top appears the word Liberty, with "In God We Trust" to the left of Washington's profile and the date 1967 below. No mint mark is visible, which matches all 1967 quarters regardless of which facility produced them. On the reverse is the heraldic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, surrounded by the inscriptions: United States of America, e pluribus un, and $quarter. This traditional eagle reverse was used until the launch of the state quarters program in 1999. You describe your coin as being in very fine VF condition with some scratches. In grading terms, VF indicates that the coin has seen moderate circulation, where the major details are still present and clear, but there is noticeable flattening on high points. On your coin, Washington's hair detail would be partially worn, but still visible, and on the reverse, the eagle's wings and body would show some flattening but retain recognizable detail. The scratches reduce the overall eye appeal, which can matter for collectors even if the grade is solid. When it comes to value, the 1967 quarter had a very large mintage, with hundreds of millions produced. It was part of the mint's push to meet demand during a nationwide coin shortage in the mid-1960s. Because of this, circulated examples like yours are very common. In today's market, a 1967 quarter in VF condition with scratches is worth 25 cents, its face value. Dealers and collectors generally do not pay a premium for circulated pieces of this date unless the coin is an unusually high grade or has an error. Uncirculated examples are more desirable. A 1967 Washington quarter with no wear and full mint luster might sell for $10 to $30. Certified mint state coins at the MS65 level can reach $20 to $40, while superb examples in MS67 have sold for several $100s at major auctions. Since they are rare in flawless condition, these coins are often taken from original mint sets, which were the main source for high-grade examples of the 1967 quarter. Errors are another factor that can boost value. Some 1967 quarters exist with striking mistakes, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or being struck on the wrong planchette. Depending on the type of error and its severity, these coins can sell for $50, $100, or more. However, most 1967 quarters, especially in circulated VF condition with scratches, are normal examples and hold only their face value. So, your coin a 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in very fine condition, with some scratches, the realistic value in today's market is 25 cents. It is not silver. It was minted in huge numbers, and its circulated condition prevents it from carrying any significant collector premium. Still, it represents a key transitional period in U.S. coinage, when silver was completely removed from circulating quarters and mint marks were temporarily eliminated to stabilize the coin supply. Next up, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny is another mid-century coin that belongs to the long-running Wheat Cent series. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and because Philadelphia issues did not carry a mint mark in this era, you will see a plain date without any letter below it. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, with "In God We Trust" above, Liberty to the left, and the date to the right. On the reverse, the classic wheat stalks framed the denomination, 1 cent along with United States of America, and at the top, the motto "E pluribus unum" is still visible. In terms of production, the Philadelphia Mint struck more than 272 million wheat pennies in 1950. That makes this coin relatively common compared to scarcer early dates or low mintage mint-marked issues. Because of this large mintage, the 1950 no mint-mark cent is not rare, though it is still sought after by collectors who want to build complete sets of wheat pennies. The coin being described here is in dirty condition with some scratches. A coin in dirty condition usually has heavy toning, discoloration, or surface buildup that makes the details less attractive. It doesn't change the authenticity, but it does reduce eye appeal. Scratches also affect the grade because they show extra damage beyond normal circulation wear. Given these details, the coin is likely in a lower circulated grade such as good or perhaps slightly better. In such grades, Lincoln's portrait is still visible, but most of the finer details are worn down and the reverse wheat stalks are only partially defined. Despite the wear and damage, the coin still has value as a collectible. So, what is a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark worth in today's market? In heavily worn, good condition, most examples sell for about 3 to 5 cents. Coins in fine condition usually bring around 5 to 10 cents, while very fine pieces can reach 15 to 25 cents. Extremely fine examples might be worth 30 to 50 cents. And about uncirculated pieces sometimes sell for 75 cents to $1.50. Uncirculated mint state coins with full red color can range from $3 to $10 in lower grades. And certified high-end examples may go for $50 or more. For this specific coin, being in dirty condition with scratches, the realistic market value today is around 3 to 5 cents. It is not considered rare or especially valuable in this state, but it still has value above face because it is part of the wheat penny series, which ended in 1958. The 1950 no mint mark penny serves as a reminder of post-World War II America, when pennies were still widely used in commerce and millions passed through the hands of everyday people. Even though it is not a high-value piece, collectors appreciate it for its history and for completing their runs of mid-20th century Lincoln cents.